What's going on, gamers? We got our next article here. Hopefully everyone's night's been going well. Mine's been doing good. Hopefully you guys are enjoying that Final Fantasy footage if you haven't played it on Switch 2 for the Switch base, and people are going to be playing that for the first time. Obviously for me, I already got that clear on PlayStation a while ago and played hard mode, all that, beat Rebirth, all that, yeah. But they did a good job with that. But getting to this, we have an Xbox article here that needs to be talked about. With one of the Xbox bosses who are still around, and there's people that always has mixed feelings about Mr. Matt. And he's saying that Xbox focus is delivering player satisfaction. Dude, you got a lot of work to do on that. And you owe the Xbox base that and value. And you guys do okay with software, and you did a good job last year with publishing, but you finished the year terribly. Evaluating $80 priced games. You know how it is when I gotta, like, but no, see guys, this is what I was saying though. Remember what I was talking about when it comes to the DRAM crisis and now the SSD aspect going on, that not only would they be thinking of ways to make up for that with hardware, but they're going to evaluate, like he's saying, $80 games as well to make up for that, because they're not thinking about $80 games on the Xbox. They're thinking about it on PlayStation 5 and Steam, which that's going to make people on Steam more mad than on PlayStation. You know this. As gamers on PlayStation, console gamers, they're willing to do that more than Steam players. We're pirates, mate. Or matey, we're not paying no $80, you know. Nah, they want to wait on sales and take other people's games. You damn pirates. Mateys, I tell you. But it is a steam machine now. And he has a 500 million yacht. And he wants more. And they're... Nah, but nobody wants to pay $80 for games. And people don't even want to pay $70, so they're waiting on sales. And they're talking about evaluating $80 price games. The last publisher that should be thinking about that when you have conditioned your base to even want for everything to come on Game Pass, and everything first party is on Game Pass. You're talking about outside of the ecosystem from a third party publisher perspective. And we're going to read this article, but I'm like, he's already talking about it, guys. And the way that things are going, I wonder if they're evaluating the RAM crisis and the NAND or just SSD aspects in general with that. Not just knowing that the hardware price is going to go up. We know they moved to Vietnam, but that does not mean that they're not going to get hit, and they're not going to compromise when you think about the 30% profit margin. So going down here, it says the Xbox boss says they are focused on delivering player satisfaction and value, and how they are always going to listen to what people want. Man, if you would have done that, bro, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. I want to do it, y'all, but I'm not going to, because you know, if they would have listened to us, everybody watching, you guys know, Alex, all y'all, if they would have listened to us, they wouldn't be stepping on damn rakes again. So, no, you have not been listening to people. You're tone deaf. A lot of people have been saying that. Even Michael Pachter had to come tell you that. So I'm not beating that. This has nothing to do with extra. No, this is the leadership and the suits over at Microsoft. You have not been listening to, for what people want. You've been ignoring people and have not been doing things. You didn't ask nobody if Outer Worlds 2 should be 80. You just went ahead and thought that. You know what I mean? You didn't ask people if you want a Game Pass to go up 30. Would it have been okay if we would have just did this over time? Like, no, there's none of that there. No. This is just PR talk. I'm sorry. No, man. So going down, Phil Spencer's smarter than that. You know what I mean? He's not going to say that. Mr. Dead says, if you listen to what players want, then you wouldn't have brought up and destroyed a huge part of the industry. Yeah, the American identity of video games. You know what I mean? Not that we still have our American identity, but I mean from a hardware perspective. Also, being one of the leaders in charging $80 for a standard edition is a big middle finger to gamers. $100 early access is like, you don't do this unless you're leading it in first place. And even then, I don't agree with it at all. Make your own games instead of talking and destroying your feckless creative bankrupt POS. Dang, this guy came in with the heat. Now, man, he got 22 likes and then down 4. Yeah, he's getting the ratio advantage here. Damn, man. Even though I agree with your statement, to be fair, Activision and Bethesda were on the path to becoming crap even before the Microsoft purchases. Microsoft, sure enough, expedited that process, though. I'd say that it goes hand in hand, but I get what he means. There was something a little bit, but there's something that when somebody gets with them, I don't know. It's like this track record. But yeah, Activision was already in a crappy position, but they weren't in a not profit position when things fell. And with Kotick, I wouldn't say he was a good guy. Obviously, we know if you sit on something like that, it's like, no, dude. There's no way of justifying anything except he knows how to run a business. He knows how to make money, but you're not going to be happy with that goat. Phil Spencer's a much better person. Okay, a Sony fanboy, Mr. Dead, dislikes Xbox. We're all shocked. No, I mean, this is definitely used to be pony ground big time. Guys, even when you would say something positive that was true about Nintendo or Xbox, it doesn't matter. They've just come in a massive downvote. It has gotten better for sure, but yeah. This guy says, a Sony fanboy, Mr. Dead, dislikes Xbox. Wow, what a roast. You got me. I'm such a Sony fanboy. I'm always in every article defending them like they have incriminating info on me. Oh, no, that's you, isn't it, little one? I don't dislike Xbox. Xbox as a platform had a chance to bring us something new. I dislike Microsoft. I'm going to have to agree with him on that in certain senses. I'm not here to slam Microsoft, but I'm just saying, who made the biggest mistakes? He's like, geez, kid, do you literally get everything wrong? Maybe listen to your betters who told you what would happen after Microsoft started buying up the industry and what I've been proving right again and again. Yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying. So, we ready to get to this article? We had to get a little bit of a spice up in here. Let's see what we got going over here and let's see what he says. Okay. With that look, man. I understand. Earlier this year, Nintendo shocked the gaming world when it announced that some of its first-party games will cost $80. Which is a $10 increase from the now standard $70 price tag for current-gen games. This alarmed gamers as it might cause a shift in how publishers price their titles. After Nintendo's announcement, it didn't take long for Microsoft to follow suit, or at least try to, with The Outer Worlds 2. We remember that, and that backfired because it didn't work out for them. That just shows you that sometimes when you guys completely ignore something, that they will change because it's not going to work for them, and they do need to be successful. You don't want to ruin a game after you worked on it for that long. Long story short, Microsoft dialed back to its original pricing. After the fans' backlash, it worked. And it's now at $70, but it's still, the game still didn't do nowhere near as well as you would have hoped. Because they used to be good too. What happened to them? The question on everyone's mind now is when will we see $80 games from Microsoft? Good question. It seems that the company is still mulling over it and hasn't decided yet. I guarantee you next year it has to because of all this crazy stuff. So here goes the comment. Microsoft president of game content and studios, Matt Booty, so I believe somebody would name their son that, was recently asked about the $80 price tag thing in a recent interview. And while Booty wouldn't outright confirm or deny that they are looking, maybe they're pirates, looking to hike the price of its first-party games, he did say that they were listening to the fans. Okay. Pirate says they are still evaluating the company's approach to pricing in the future and commented, "Our whole focus is on delivering player satisfaction, as we saw in delivering player value. And we're always going to be listening to what people want there." And that's funny. Continuing with the statement, Pirate added, "We've reacted in the last year, and I think for us, the real focus is going to be, I'll come back to the phrase, meeting people where they are. I think there's going to be less of a focus on what's the top of line price of a game as people start to engage in different ways with games." What? What the hell is he talking about? What do you mean? Dude, if it's $80 a night, that is a problem with everything else in this economy. What do you mean? You're talking about focus on the top line price of a game. Dude, well, you ain't no Mario Kart World, and even then, they decided to bundle that. As people start to engage in different ways with games, from our point of view, monetization just happens in so many different ways right now. Yeah, of course, that could be worse. It is. So we're going to continue to listen to the feedback from fans. We're going to continue to balance that with needing to run the healthy business. But right now, on the content side, we don't have any pricing updates. So they haven't decided. They're thinking about this big time. It definitely matters with how crazy next year is getting. Perhaps Microsoft is looking at it on a game-by-game basis, which is what you have to do. If they can somehow shoehorn microtransactions and whatnot in the game, maybe that'll be enough for the company to not increase the price for that particular title. Literally, you're going to make way more money doing it. If your game is really good and you have the right vanity for microtransactions, this is not a question. Gotchas have shown you this. Free-to-play games have shown you this. It's without a doubt. Make a really good video game so that people want to coat their character or get something or some emotes. I mean, a lot of games have shown you that. You don't need to jack the price up. Make that stuff optional, and there's people that will take care of that by itself. We can't really say what these executives are planning, to be honest. I mean, they're looking for something to make more money. Halo Campaign Evolved is the next major Xbox game confirmed to be multi-platform. Where will we see that priced at? $80? I hope not. That's a huge mistake, considering its own. No, don't do that. Probably not, giving it's a remake and not a new game entirely, but it wouldn't surprise me if Microsoft pulls the gun on it from one of its major releases, such as Gears of War E-Day. Yeah, that's a possibility. Stay connected to MP first in the latest news by following us on all of these aspects. So, yeah, I mean, basically what he's saying is he's giving us an intake on what they think is going to be $80, and if not, do we want to put MTX in this game? I mean, I hate both, but I would not do 80 because that's in front of everybody, no matter what, on platforms you're supposed to be doing well on. You do not want to appear anti-consumer when you're trying to go full blast as a publisher. And that's pretty much your last dying breath to being really good in this industry to deliver high quality stuff outside of your Game Pass, where people cannot pay 80. But that's a limit compared to the rest of the industry. On Steam, people going to the Steam machine that's going to be coming out, PlayStation, the PlayStation ecosystem, and going on Nintendo doing that. You have to really be careful how you approach this, Microsoft. That's something you cannot approach lightly. And I think you should find an alternative method, unless you think you have the top dog and your game is better than other people's and it's rolling. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's going to be tough. So let me know what you guys think about this. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out. Gonna keep the show going. You know what's up.